All right. Okay, so front and center on the screen now because it looks like we're going live. Let me just double check on LinkedIn and make sure we are. Guys, if you're already joining us, go ahead and just smash that like button. In fact, I want you to celebrate because we got a great guest in today. Give me a little bit of that applause. Show me a little love, a little support. We got Ravi in the house. So I'm really excited. It's been a long time coming trying to get Ravi on, so I'm glad to have him on today. Maybe some of you guys actually saw him live a little bit earlier today, right? So maybe you actually already saw him. But we're going to go into a little bit different side that maybe you haven't seen before. A little bit of his background. We're going to also give you some tips on how you can level up when it comes to your presentation skills, sales skills, posting content on LinkedIn, all that. So Ravi is a great resource for all of that, and we'll get his story in the process. Now, while I do that, let me just pull up and make sure that we are actually being heard. So if you are signing in, let us know if you can actually hear us and see us. We want to make sure that is the case. So let me just do a little quick refresh here. Yes. All right. Okay. We're live. I'm opening this up. I'm going to see if I can see your comments in here.
What have we got, Rollis? We got some good comments. We got some good comments rolling through. People excited?
We just starting to see people come on. So Joe says she can see us and hear us, which is a great sign. Okay. And sometimes our comments are get a little slow coming in, so I keep hitting refresh to see who's commenting. It looks like I see. Oh, Wesley's here. Hey, good to have you, Wesley. Okay, let me hit refresh here. Folks are just coming in. Excellent. All right, good guys. All right, listen, Ravi, Rajani, just real excited about having you on the show. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. It's been a long time, right? We tried to make it happen maybe 2 months ago. It didn't work out, but now we're here. We're here, dude.
That's it. We're here. It's all about. We're live. So I'm really happy about that. Wesley says sounds good. Wesley actually has his own show, so he knows the game. He's done the live shows and everything.
Wesley knows. Wesley knows the difficulties that come with doing a live show, right? We were just doing one earlier about 2 hours ago, and the sound went halfway, and we're still trying to pull it together. It's a tough game, man. It's a tough game.
Absolutely, but it's worth it, right? It's worth it because the journey, man. You learn so much in the journey. Would you not agree in doing it?
100%, and the consistency, right? Because every single week you show up at the same time. It just becomes like riding a bike. I can imagine. I don't know. I've got LinkedIn Live. I really need to jump on it. I really do. But the technicalities of it are doing my head in. I'm like, gotta put this together, put that together.
Exactly. It. So speaking of journey, man, I want to kind of talk to you a little bit about your journey.
Yeah.
Tell me how did you go from, this content creator, putting all this content, all this recorded content. Now you're doing live shows, you're doing all this stuff. But at one time, you weren't doing all of this. So give me a little bit of a short summary of kind of what took you from where you were, just starting maybe out in sales, kind of where you got your start there, all the way up to now. Give us a feel for where you came from on this.
Yeah, man, totally. So I actually didn't get my start as a professional speaker. I've never given a TEDx talk, never given a TED talk. I don't even have one planned right now. I actually got my start as a kid when I was around, must have been 8 or 9 years old. I nearly went really, y'all old there, years old. And I remember it like this. I remember I was in school, and I must have been, as I said, around 8 or 9. And there I am, picture this, right? I'm sitting there, cross-legged in assembly, hundreds of kids in the room. And they were giving out awards that day. Okay. And I was like, I didn't have an award to be awarded to. So I was just sitting there like a good boy. I was just chilling. And then suddenly the headmistress stands up and she says, I'd like to call Christy. I think her name was Christy or Kirsty. I can't remember. Let's go with Christy.
Okay.
And she stands up and she's like, well done for the award, Christy. You won Dancer of the Year or something like that. The whole audience are clapping. She turns around, Christy, in front of the whole room and goes, Rav is in my dance class too. And everyone looks around and I was like bright red. Like I was the only dude in the dance class. I was trying to keep it hush hush. And I was like, Mom, I quit. I went home. I was like, Mom, I quit. I'm done. So I can't remember if it was that which made me quit or something else, but eventually I quit.
Right.
And when I got into my teens, what was funny was my best friend's father was a playwright. So I stumbled into acting and I started to do, local theater. I started to get meatier and meatier appearances. And I got to that stage where friends would even say to me, Ravi, have you ever thought about taking a career on stage seriously? And I was like, no. I'm not interested in that. I want to go make some money.
Right.
So that's when I ended up on the trading floor of an investment bank where I worked in corporate sales, where I was selling foreign exchange products to big corporates to help them manage their risk.
Right.
I left there in 2016 and I started moving into the world of sales leadership and startups and also, pursuing different entrepreneurial pursuits. And that's when I started getting involved with TV over here in the UK, radio, podcasts, building a personal brand. And it kind of got me thinking. It took me to this point where this year I started looking at the space and I started thinking, after spending some time on LinkedIn, and we can go to that in a second, but I started looking at the space and I was like, man, I'm the first one to say that I wouldn't call myself, when I was younger and being, having Asian parents, I wasn't the guy who came home with 50 A stars, across the board. I wasn't that kid. But I've been able to land jobs, opportunities, and in certain rooms because I truly, truly believe in the art of communication, because it's not just about in sales and presenting what you say, it's about how you say it. Absolutely. So that takes us to where I am now, where I'm specifically helping leaders and their teams become confident speakers so they can deliver high impact presentations.
I love that. No, that's good. So, by the way, guys, in the comments, let us know where you're signing in from today. I want to know where you're signing in from and what are you most interested in learning about today? Because we could talk more about speaking. We could talk more about presenting. We could talk more about content creation, which Ravi is a great resource for that. We could talk about video. What is it that you want to talk about? What questions do you have? I want to see your responses and your feedback in the comments. So feel free and do that as we progress throughout our discussion. So Ravi, just to get back to I'm just curious, why is it that when you said, no, that's not for me, when someone said, hey, you should look at this, obviously they did that for a reason at the time. What made you give it that pushback?
I don't really know. I think I never really, it was a hobby. I was doing it as a hobby. Even when I was in investment banking, I remember my whole team came to watch me in theater along with so many of my colleagues. And I remember my boss saying to me the day after, he was like, have you never thought about doing something on stage? And when I left, I remember him saying, he's like, look, you're going to go do whatever you're going to go do, but I can guarantee it's going to be something in the world of performance, whether it's on video, speaking, or something like that. And I was like, okay, cool, bro. I think, when I was 18, I remember when I was 18, 19, I went through a heartbreak, like all of us did, right? When we were teens. I remember that spurred me on. I was like, I want to be successful. I want ultimate revenge, right? And I remember I started to get an understanding of what it would be like to work in an investment bank. And how I grew up was my father worked in the corporate world. My uncle worked in the world of investment banking. So it's kind of, when you're younger, you kind of end up moving towards what feels familiar from my perspective. Anyway, that's what I did. And then over time, I started to realize when I was in banking that although I made friends for life and it was great whilst it lasted, I wasn't living my dream. I was living somebody else's dream. And that realization woke me up to bring me to, hey, going into the world of startups, like I said, in sales leadership and doing what I'm doing now.
You just hit on something that we may just expand on, because you never know when you're going to meet a friend for life. You can meet somebody, you never know where that relationship is going to go, no matter where you meet them and how people are going to touch your lives. Speaking of that, I want to turn my attention to the comments here. Let's see here. So Patty Witt, she's coming in from Alabama. Hazel something, Alabama. Yeah. So Patty, good to see you. We've got also Wesley says, every headache is worth it. He says that about the production, of the live production.
Yeah.
And Joanne says hello, everyone, too. So let me do a quick refresh here. I want to ask you a question. I'm going to ask the audience to answer this question as well as we get into this. By the way, Alicia, Dr. Cornell, how are you doing? She's logging in from North Carolina. I'm most interested in this journey that Ravi is talking about from corporate to now being a content creator. I've always been very dramatic and I studied theater as a hobby. So now I'm in corporate and I have an interest in being an entrepreneur, but not like, but she's now I'm like, okay, now what? That's what she's saying.
Yeah,
awesome.
Got you.
Wesley's coming in from New York City. Before I move on to my would you rather question, any advice you want to give Dr. Cornell? She's trying to make this transformation at this moment.
I would say to Dr. Cornell, the idea is I personally don't see myself as a quote unquote content creator. I run a coaching and consulting business, and the content creation helps give me awareness, which allows people to understand what I do. And it gives me the opportunity to ultimately find people who may be a good fit for what I do. Now, obviously the brand awareness, everything like that helps, and building a personal brand is super important. But I would say from my perspective, start thinking about, if you are looking at coaching and consulting, I'm not sure what you're looking at, but let's assume you're looking at that. And regardless of that, actually, who would you like to help and what problem would you like to solve?
Ooh,
and
I like
ensure that you're solving a problem big enough, that's a big enough pain that people are willing to pay you for it. Because I've made plenty of mistakes. Trust me, when I was in corporate, I'll never forget this. I tried to start a speed dating business with two of my pals. Like, I did all the classic wrong things. Put up a website before making any sales. Registered a company before doing anything. Like, just like when somebody reads a book about what not to do. I did everything you should not do. But I suppose through that, you start learning, and you learn through the mistakes. And hey, I'm going to continually learn through my mistakes.
I love that. By the way, Wesley said he's coming in from New York City, and I want to also shine a light on where you're coming from, because you made a sacrifice for us today. It's about 8:00 where you are. Tell us where you're signing in from today.
I'm from London. So I'm actually in a place called Essex, which is just outside of London. So it's 8 p.m. But you know what's funny? Most of my calls and clients are, from US and beyond. Okay. So a lot of my calls are just, this is normal for me now. So yeah, don't worry. You're not taking me away too much. We're all good.
And after watching your show, when you talked about you're from Essex, I looked it up on the map, and it's like a suburb basically almost of London, right? I mean, it's like right there.
Yeah, it's like 25 minutes from London. If I want to hop on a train now, I'll be in London in less than 25 minutes. Yeah, so it's super chill, but it allows me to have some space with my, partner, the dog. It's nice, man. I lived in London. It was cool, but it was hectic. I was like, we need to go back to Essex,
See, if you were from Houston, you would get what I mean, because you pretty much, it takes you about 25 minutes to get to downtown, pretty much no matter where you live in Houston. And we got suburbs all around here. And so when I looked at the map, I was like, wait a second, that's kind of like where I live is to Houston, because it takes me about 30 minutes to get to Houston, maybe 40 minutes.
There you go.
I'm in Cyprus.
There you go. Perfect.
Yeah, so I get it. It's cool.
Easy.
All right, so let's see. We got some more folks coming in here and making their comments. Let me make sure I shine a light on them too. Let's see. Yeah. We got Forrest. Oh, by the way, Dr. Cannell says that makes so much sense. I find myself coaching women in business and healthcare all the time. Meanwhile, I do those roles because I love to learn. And then Forrest says, personally, I see every relationship as a potentially hugely valuable. From the cashier at the gas station to a boss to a coworker, I try and develop every relationship to the fullest extent possible. Oftentimes, that means that I try and simply make the cashier, for example, smile, and then I will never see that person again. However, many times I've valued greatly from old relationships that I've developed, managed, and fostered for years. Do you want to touch on that?
Well, I love that, because it is important that, you should treat everybody with respect.
Yes.
Regardless of gas station, corporate office, janitor, whatever it might be. And the truth is I think that's just been one of the things that has really helped me, man. It's just being able to connect with so many people. I genuinely enjoy it. Like, I get charged up. I'm a relationship driven person, but I actually charge up my batteries in solitude. So, after being out in public, being on lives, doing videos, I also love my downtime. And on weekends, that's when it occurs. Like, you'll catch me on the sofa doing absolutely nothing with just me, my dog, and my girlfriend, But I think people, when I say that, they get shocked. They expect me to be up here consistently,
Thank you.
But
Thank you.
I agree.
Yes.
An amazing philosophy. What I forgot his name, the gentleman in the comments, but amazing
Forrest.
philosophy. And with that, it's a compounding effect.
Yes. Yes.
There's a book by Ryan Serhant from the TV show $1 Million Listing. He's a real estate agent, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
And
I've seen him.
Yeah, exactly. And he mentioned something very interesting in his book, Said It Like Serhant, where he said, listen, every time you go to the gym, go and introduce yourself to 3 to 5 new people a week. A day rather.
Wow.
I can't remember the exact figure.
Okay.
But if you think about it, 5 new people a week is roughly 20 people a month, right? Add that up, and you're going to be meeting hundreds of people every single year. You never know. You could meet friends for life.
There you go.
You could meet business connections. You could meet the next wifey. I don't know, right? Yep. You're going to meet so many people, right?
That's so true. And, I think one of the things that I want to say, I don't know if it's a mistake or not, but early on in my career, I was hyper-focused on my target market, not thinking about the fact that my target market has families, they have friends, right? Yeah. So I could be discounting someone that could really literally be within my target market because they may just be one connection away. Maybe their husband or their wife or their son, daughter, parents, maybe someone they know, it's in their network. So that's probably one thing that I would share with others is that don't get too hyper focused. You still want to share the content you want to share, but don't feel like you can only share yourself with this small niche of people. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I think I've tried different things when it comes to the content, and I've just come to the conclusion that I've looked at certain bits of my content and what works and what doesn't, or what works at the moment, I suppose. But if you're just sharing content with, let's take somebody, Dr. Cornell, who's specifically speaking with women in the healthcare space, right. That's great. But also, if you got 5 posts per week, there's nothing stopping one post being a little bit more general and being more personal, because there could be some guy who's watching that who says, that's great for my wife.
Yeah,
I've had somebody, when I had a group coaching program back in 2018, a career coaching program, I had a wife, a lady, saw my Facebook ad, told her husband she should book an appointment with me. He became a client, and we're still good friends today.
What?
So you just don't know, you just don't know.
Okay, I got to give it up for that one. That's a good one. I like that story. That's a good story.
Look at that. Oh, I like that.
Yeah, there you go. That was good. That was good.
We need like a buzzer. We need one of those.
Okay, so Alicia Cornell, Dr. Cornell, she says, a lot of good stories come out of Essex. Laugh out loud.
Yeah, that's what they say, right? Everybody who I speak to knows this one TV reality show. So, for example, I suppose it's like the Kardashians,
Okay.
Beverly Hills, Wives of Hollywood, or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
It's like that, but we have our own Essex version. And for some reason, everybody knows that show who I speak to. So that's probably what she's talking about.
Nice. Forrest says, he's coming back. He says, one of my oldest relationships is with my 4th grade teacher. I'm 37 years old. So that's a good example there.
That's such a cool example. I love that.
Absolutely. He also says our ability to form, develop, and manage relationships. Let's see, I lost it because my comments just jumped down. Oh yeah, is one of the things that sets us apart from the rest of the animal kingdom. Yep, they're very true. And I
think it's also important, Rollis. I don't know what your opinion on this is as well, but I think the hardest thing that I've found, I don't know about you, but as you get older, is you may have certain relationships who you're close with, but they may have been good for you at one time, but that energy may no longer serve you. So it's quite interesting as you evolve, how your relationships evolve, right? Because if your relationships aren't evolving, then arguably there's a problem. And it's not that you can't still hang around with the same people that you did. That's cool, right? But also letting new people in to your inner circle is super important as you level up.
I like that. That's a good point. Dr. Brown, Timothy Brown. Hey, Timothy. So he came in. He said, great tip. So something you said a little bit ago, he liked it a lot.
Thank you.
Let's see, Alicia Cornell. She says, Serhant is a great example on TV. He's actually real. Yeah, she laughed out loud. Yeah. Patty says, great tip about expanding outside your market. So she liked that. And Kendra was piggybacking off of Forrest's comment. I'm meditating on the thought earlier that in order to stand out in a crowded room is to simply be present in the moment and be engaged, actively participating and interacting. Yeah. And Dr. Cornell says, I was hyper-focused on getting a leadership role. It shut me out of learning other roles and behaviors and not seeing the bandwidth. Oh, interesting. Wow.
That is interesting.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay. I want to give away a book, and I also want to do a would you rather question. Now, so I'm going to give away a book. Let me ask you this. If you were to reread a book, any book that you've read before that you thought was so amazing that you would read it again, what book would that be? Just curious.
Can I look at my Audible on my phone? Because I've got a library there.
Sure.
Yeah? Okay. So I'm going to give you the book right now. I already going to tell you it because I'm going to reread it.
Okay.
Don't laugh.
Okay.
I'm going to stay with me. With me. 50 Cent, aka Curtis Jackson's, I think it's called Hustle Harder or something like that. Dude, I was reluctant. When my friend told me, I was like, I'm not sure. Honestly, the way he talks about business, talks about relationships, talks about how he handles himself in the room versus corporate executives. Fascinating stuff. Genuinely fascinating stuff. I'm going to read it again.
Wow, I would not have guessed that. Okay, so we're going to give away a book. If you want to choose Ravi's recommendation, you can, or you can choose one of the other ones on our list, and Joe will put the list up, and we'll see who's going to win this book. Okay. All right. So what we're going to do is the task you have to do is I'm going to make this pretty easy for you, and I'm going to pick one from. It's going to be for those in the comments. I'm going to pick one from the our LinkedIn Live VIPs, and then one for someone who just joined us today. Okay. All right. So the word for today is going to be speak. Speak is the word. So you have to type in SPEAK without someone interrupting you, and you can't do it in the same word or same comment. You have to go SPEAK all separately. You can't be interrupted. If they interrupt you, you got to start over. So guys, go for it. And I'm going to give one away to a LinkedIn Live VIP, and then one to someone who's just coming on. Okay, now back to you, Ravi.
Yeah.
I want to ask you, would you rather?
Yes.
Would you rather navigate through life with 3D glasses always on, or wearing a milk mustache at all times?
3D glasses all day long.
Why is that?
Just because you could kind of pull that off with some swagger, like with a milk mustache. Like you have to grow them. There's nothing you can do. Like you'll constantly look like a toddler. So the 3D glasses, you could rock that with a suit, with a t-shirt and shorts, and you could call it like some eye problems or something. I don't know. Like you could swag it out, with a milk mustache. There's no going back with that, Royce.
Okay. All right. So that's a silly one. I'm gonna get this a little bit more. This is gonna make you think a little bit more. So would you rather lose your ability to dream, but never have nightmares again, or have colorful lucid dreams regularly, but also the occasional terrible nightmare?
Number 2.
Why is that?
Because the ideas that you would get from the colorful dreams could be very, very cool, and also it could give you a level of growth that not dreaming could never provide. So for me, number 2, man. Number 2. As long as they're not horrendous. Like, I don't like snakes, so I don't want no dreams of snakes like coming up and killing me and stuff. I don't want that. Right. So like, no, that's gonna happen, isn't it? So I'm gonna have to learn how to deal with that. I'll have to check into therapy for a bit and then come back out. Okay.
All right. So Forrest, he says his book is Good to Great. So I love that book. That was a good book. Jim Collins. And let's see. Timothy says, "What got you here won't get you there." Ooh, I like that. I like the title alone.
True, man. It's just an amazing. You know what? I'd say that was honestly for me. If you could think about one quote to sum up this year when it comes to business and individual growth in light of the economic and, I suppose, backdrop and the health backdrop of the world we're in today is exactly that. You just have to like reinvent yourself. I was on an interview the other week and somebody said, "What have you reinvented this year?" And I said, "Me." Like,
Yeah.
I had to reinvent me, man. I had to completely reinvent myself, So I love that. Whoever said that book, it's amazing.
I want to unpack that. Okay, Ravi, just a second. I want to unpack that because I saw it. I looked at your LinkedIn profile and I was like, man, this dude did a serious reset this year. Hold on one second here. Let me look at my thing here. All right, so Kendra says, she's talking to Dr. Cornell. She says, I was just thinking about this, how things are shifting as well as with increased usage of technology. Okay, we got, oh man, they're going after it on this book, man. The comments are just crazy. I love it. Okay, I'm trying to skip through down to get far enough. Here we go. Patty says, no dreams or nightmares. I have more nightmares than dreams and have as long as I can remember. Oh, wow, poor thing. And then Herb. Hey, Herb, good to see you. He says, Ravi, have you spent any time in the U.S.? And if so, how do you compare the social values of the U.S. versus England? Interesting question. I like that.
That is a super interesting question. So, yes, I've spent some time in the U.S. When I was a kid, when I was very, very young, for my father's job, I lived out in New York for 6 to 8 months as a kid. I love going to the U.S. I love the U.S. I've been to the U.S., I think, must be every year. Last year I was in Miami, year before San Diego or something like that. New York, I enjoy it. I do enjoy it. You know what, one thing I would say about the UK versus the US is the idea and, I suppose, preconceived notions about investing in yourself and coaching. So if you were to speak to somebody in the US, what I found from the bubbles of individuals that I've met is it's way more common for people to have coaches, for people to be coaches, for people to invest in themselves.
Right.
In the UK, that movement is starting to happen, but people are way more skeptical.
Interesting.
More skeptical. Here's what's interesting. When I look at my stats on my LinkedIn videos, I get, 50% of my viewership from the UK, 50% from the US, but engagement wise, it's probably like a 90-10 US UK split. How crazy is that?
So why do you think that is? What could be the reason behind that?
I think that people in the UK are just way more, it's not as if they don't enjoy something. If they don't, I mean, hey, but it's to say, hey man, great video. It's not, I don't know what the right word is. Like, they like to sometimes observe from afar versus be in the comments and be a bit more out there.
That makes sense.
Or I've just got a lot of haters. I don't know.
I think you're onto something, because I'll say this, with my target market, which are healthcare HR and healthcare leadership, they're more likely to watch than they are to watch, like, and comment.
Exactly. So how interesting is that, Roy? So, I mean, that blows my mind. It's super interesting that when I meet people, or I'll get a DM saying, hey, I've been watching your content for 6-7 months, and I'm like, whoa, but they say I've never engaged with it because I just don't do that. And I'm like, that's super cool. It's super interesting, right? And actually, sometimes the people you're impacting the most are the ones who are watching from the sidelines, which is a tough thing for content creators. Going back to the doctor at the beginning, who said, look, I'm thinking about content creation, is if you get too hyped up at the beginning on feedback, you may quit too quickly.
Yes. Okay. This is a great point, Ravi, because I want to direct this to you, Dr. Cornell, that one of the things that I struggled with is that, wait a second, my target market is not giving me any kind of feedback right now. I'm not getting any likes or comments or love. I'm getting likes and comments and love from other folks, but not from the target market, right?
Yeah.
But after a while, I started to get direct messages from people saying, hey, I really enjoyed your content. Some of these people I know extremely well. And I'm thinking, like, but why have you never said that on the actual post? And I can't explain the reasons why they don't, but I guess I want to say to you, Dr. Cornell, and those others who are out there, when you're posting content and you don't get a lot of likes and comments, don't think that people don't see it. And don't think that they're not enjoying it. It may just be that for whatever reason they're not posting about it, but they are watching it. So I don't want, like you said, we don't want to get too caught up in the stats at the beginning. Okay.
And also, Wallace, sorry just to interject, but very
Please,
quickly.
go for it.
It depends on what you classify as feedback. So if Dr. Cornell was starting a business
Mm-hmm.
and her feedback was the sales and the people that she was helping, would you rather have a 6-figure business or be en route to a 6-figure business or whatever it is and be impacting people, or have 600 likes per post but be serving nobody in your business?
Right, that's an easy choice.
You know what I mean? It's a weird world we live in, where people will naturally see engagement as a metric for success when it doesn't mean they necessarily have anything behind it.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. And one thing I'll say to that too is it could be deceiving, is that I've had some people, they may pass on the show or whatever, being on the show sometime, because I guess maybe they looked at my stats or whatever. Yeah. What they don't realize is that, number one, the target market I have, they don't really necessarily like and comment a lot anyway. But I have a few groups that they probably wouldn't see just by looking at my profile that have over 150,000 healthcare people in it that I push out content through. So I'll say to say this is that don't also get so caught up in the stats you're trying to evaluate whether this person is going to be good to talk to or not, because sometimes what you see on the service is not what it's all about. So just make the connection, put your content out there, and let the chips fall how they may. How do you feel about that?
I think your one thing you mentioned, it was before we hopped on, is about the concept of just being consistent and getting your head down and doing the work. And I think it's super important. Now, I haven't been on the platform long on LinkedIn, right? I started March 22nd or 23rd, one of those 2 days, exactly one of those 2 days. And I remember it because I started with a 30-day video challenge with a friend, and it came from that. But it's about consistency, because at first people will go, oh, it's cute, you're posting a few videos, we'll look out for them. And then they go, oh, there's actually a strategy behind this. And versus the one hit wonder, one video, hey guys, I'm going to start posting content. And then you go, can't get into it. It is truly, this better than anybody. It's doing the reps, it's just doing the reps, but you have to start in some way.
Yeah. So, let's see, Dr. Timothy Brown, he told us who wrote that book. It's Marshall Goldsmith. What got you here won't get you there. So thank you for sharing that. Okay, it looks like Patty, let's see, I think I missed a letter. It looks like Patty may have won. And then Patty says, I'd rather Dr. Cornell win, so it doesn't matter to me. Oh, wow. That's awesome. See, this is the kind of camaraderie that we have. I got to celebrate that for a second here. So I'm going to clap that.
That is a clap ready.
I love it, Patty. Appreciate you. Herb says, one of my favorite books is Malcolm Gladwell's Outliers. Ooh, love that. That's a good one. My phone is like going crazy. It was trying to listen to my conversation. I must have said something that was close to Siri, because it started like talking to me just now. Anyway, Patty says, Ravi has great energy. So there you go.
Patty.
You got some props today. Dr. Cornell was also responding back to Patty. You're very kind, so that's good. She said, Asada, an autobiography. I learned to go explore other cultures, raise my cultural awareness, and investigate everything I learned and challenge it. Plus, no complaining, only looking for solutions to the problem. Ravi said this also. Nice. I didn't even remember that. That's cool. See, people can catch on to certain things you don't even realize we even said, which is great.
I don't even remember saying that, so hey, I appreciate it.
She says, a colleague just commented on my post. It's a team meeting. I had no idea they were watching. someone. So see, you have no idea. Sometimes you have no idea that other people are seeing what you're posting, and here we are, like, oh no, someone's not watching my video. You ever had a situation like that, Ravi?
Sorry, so somebody was watching the video and they got caught. They shouldn't be. Is that
no?
Is that
so she because she's commenting right now, and I guess it goes on her profile. So one of her colleagues noticed that she was commenting on this show right now. Yeah, which I love it. It gives us thank you, appreciate what you're doing, Dr. Cornell. That gives us more exposure for the show.
Thanks, Dr. Cornell. Keep doing it. Keep commenting so we can get that exposure.
We love it.
Let's get that exposure up.
Patty says one new connection can make a huge difference and should never be discounted. Okay.
Yes.
I've got another one for you here. I want to do another little side question for you here, Ravi. This is a new game that actually one of my new friends through the show, she bought this for us to do on our Fun and Games Friday. Her name is Noelle.
Okay.
And so what we're doing today is I'm going to do a little bit of a round robin here. Okay. So this is where you're going to start us off with this, and then the folks in the comments will jump in, and help us with the topic. Okay.
Okay.
What? Okay, here's a funny one.
Okay.
What? Create a ridiculous consumer warning for the outside of a pizza box. Okay. In the comments, I want you to do that, guys. In the comments, do that same thing. What? Create a warning, a ridiculous consumer warning for the outside of a pizza box.
Oh my God, I don't even know what to do here. Oh my God, what on earth? I'm actually lost.
Okay, all right, no problem.
I did not expect that. That is good.
That's a crazy one, huh? Okay, all right. How about this one here? What would be awesome if displayed or served in a fountain, like chocolate or champagne?
I know it.
What's that one going to be?
You know what? This is so boring, dude. You're gonna be like, you're so boring. But I've been trying to drink more water recently. I'm like, man, you know what? This is so boring. So I've been putting squash in it. Now I'm just addicted to squash with water all day. If there was a fountain, like you go to the park and you go,
Okay.
and it's like black, it's like Ribena coming from it. I'd be like, dude, that'd be amazing. I mean, that's not wild at all. Most people are probably saying like Hennessy, Patron, and I'm
Okay.
like, yeah, squash with water, please.
Squash with water?
Yeah.
Am I getting
Or
that right?
squash. Yeah.
Because like I've had like squash soup. But
Oh, sorry. So this is terminology now. So what would you call it? You would call it, you know what? Actually, let's change that up. Elderflower with lemonade, like one of those, those elderflower drinks. You have them, and I'm like, I'm souped up on the sugar. I'm not a big drinker, so I can talk about this all day long.
I've never had that, but basically a fountain with like a sugary, some type of sweet tasting water, basically. Like
I'm a sucker for sugar, man. I'm a sucker for sugar.
Okay. I never even thought about that. What?
Yeah.
So now we're on this track. I never thought about that, Ravi. So I guess I would take. I think I'd take a Coke fountain, but I always have to be careful not to drink too much.
Are you a big Coca-Cola fan?
Yeah, I'm a big Coca-Cola fan. Guys in the comments, what do you guys think? What would be cool on a fountain? Okay, let me go back to my comments here. Oh, Noelle's watching. She just piped in. She says 100% agree with Patty. Okay, Forrest says, warning, the contents of this box have shown to cause cancer in the state of California.
Whoa.
That's
deep. That's a deep one. Okay, Forrest. Okay.
Noelle says, warning, it may be cheesy.
That's a bad one,
Joanne, actually, no, this is Joe. Joe says, wine, a wine fountain. Oh, okay. So Joe is asking, maybe you mean cucumber water. Is that squash in England?
No. So, okay, let's go back to the squash debate. So,
Okay.
I'll take from the tap water, and then you have this orange thing that if you had it on its own from a bottle, you'd throw up. It's like concentrate. But you put it in there, you mix it, and it becomes like flavored water.
Oh, got it. That would be kind of cool. Okay, we're on to something here. Okay, so let's say the fountain's there and it's electronic. You press a button of the flavor that you want. You press the button and you just drink out the fountain. What about that?
Dude, you got a business idea. You heard it here first, ladies and gents. I want 1% of all sales proceeds from this conversation.
That's awesome. Forrest says squash is different in the UK. So, yeah, I guess it's not the same thing I was thinking at first.
Forrest knows, man. Forrest knows.
Yeah.
Forrest knows.
Patty says, I think lemon drop martini in a fountain would be awesome. Ah, interesting.
Okay.
Noelle says, agree with the elderflower. She says, and Joe loved the cucumber and orange in water, so she likes that.
Okay.
Dr. Cornell says lemon water. That would be awesome. Kendra says, warning, please only consume the contents and not the package for the pizza box. Okay. Squash. Okay, so Forrest says squash is a concentrated punch drink.
Yeah,
Is that right?
but
Okay.
non-alcoholic. But yeah,
Right. Okay. Okay. Good. So I understand. See, like I grew up on Kool-Aid. See, in southern United States, a lot of my friends we grew up on Kool-Aid, and it was like a red. You get a red or a grape in a little package, and you
yeah.
pour it in your water, and you pour the sugar in your water, and you would have this red drink. And so we call that was Kool-Aid was a big brand when I was growing up. Does anybody else know about Kool-Aid in the comments? Let me know.
I'm glad you explained that because for years
Mhm.
I would watch American movies and they would talk about Kool-Aid. And I would be like, I would hear it, but I never looked it up after these decades of watching these movies. And now I know. So it comes in a sachet and then you put it in and then
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah. And then depending on what household you're in, you're going to have more or less sugar. Some people just put way more sugar than others. Yeah. Probably not too good with the whole health thing we're in today to have too much sugar. Okay, Herb says passion fruit. He'll take passion fruit in his fountain drink.
That'd be good. Mango.
Dr. Cornell says a lot of sugar. She put all caps on sugar. And so as far as says it's like Kool-Aid liquid concentrate. So yeah, we're on the same page.
We're on the same wavelength. We get it. Forrest, I'm with you, bro. I'm with you.
And Noel says, Rollis, no more Coke and Kool-Aid. Bad, bad, bad.
Yeah, dude, you're going to need a few teeth out if you keep having Coke and Kool-Aid.
And then Dr. Cornell says we had Tang, too. That's right. We did have Tang. We did have a fair amount of Tang back in the day. Okay, let's go back to our original conversation. So give me the top 2 or 3 tips that you would give to give a great presentation. How about that?
Presentation meaning as in the workplace? What's the context here? Are we talking about
let's go with the new workplace, which is Zoom and or Teams or whatever virtual platform they're using. And let's say you're going to give this presentation to a group of people. Let's say it's 15 or 20 of your coworkers.
Okay, got you. So think about it like this, okay? Let's take a comedian. You can learn so much from comedians. Now, at the beginning, they're like, hey, what's going on, London? Woo! How my people in India doing? Way! How's everybody in the US doing? Oh, from New York. Okay. What they're doing is they're getting their energy level up in the room and they're stacking the energy, right?
Yes.
Now, people say, well, it's hard to do that over Zoom. But a similar way to do that is, so let me know in the chat, how many of you insert question, okay? And start getting momentum in the chat. So when you do get to your first point, which is going to be your story or however you're starting your presentation, you've got the engagement. Yes. I would say that's tip number 1. Tip number 2 would be a lot of people will go into presentations and they'll teach straight away. We've all done it, right? We go in and we just want to verbal vomit all of our knowledge. Yes. Now, part of that may come from ego because we just want to, showcase how much we know. Another part of it can come from just wanting to give as much as possible to the audience. Right. But the truth of the matter is that you can't teach somebody something if you haven't got their attention. So the game is to not teach first or lead with value, because that's actually arguably misleading, because you can lead with value, but who knows if they're going to be listening? They could be on their phone scrolling IG or LinkedIn.
Ravi, that's a point we have to really just marinate on that for a second here. Tell me that point about the can't teach. I want to hear that one more time. So
if I'm delivering a presentation, if I go in with teaching, the problem is my audience may not have lowered their barriers yet to give me the opportunity to teach. So one way you need to think about it is in order to teach, you need to gain attention. And how you can gain attention is through several means. Props, telling a joke, icebreakers, telling a story. It's why people tell stories at the beginning of presentations, because the currency is attention. Then you can teach. Then you have the opportunity to teach.
Give you this for that. That's a great point. That was good. I love it.
I'd say the final tip going on from that is don't overteach. Okay, don't overteach, because there's plenty of studies out there which will tell you that people can only take on so much information. at one point.
Yes.
And then people walk away feeling guilty going, oh, I didn't give enough value. And then people go straight to quantity. When actually, if you can go through 3 to 4 maximum topics, but if you can actually penetrate them deep and give one big message where somebody goes away and they go, I really love the part where Rollins spoke about bang. And it's the big takeaway. That's more powerful than, whoa, they spoke about 50 million things. I'm overwhelmed.
Yes. Oh man, this is golden. This is golden right here. Those are both going to be clips. I'm telling you, because those are two things I see. Those are mistakes I've seen. I've done them where I just go right into it. I don't have their attention. Man, I love that. That's great stuff. Oh, and I did not give props to our winner. So first of all, Patty won, and she awarded it to Dr. Cornell. So I want to do a cheer for both of them for winning that last challenge. So let me do that for them now. Right there.
Well done, Patty. Well done, Dr. Cornell. Love it.
Yes. Teamwork makes. Okay.
Celebrate good times. Come on.
Okay. So going back to let me make sure I don't ignore the comments here. I got lots of comments here. Okay, I'm missing so much here. This is a great discussion, guys. Okay. So Kendra says, Forrest, there are a lot of these warnings on food items. For example, frozen White Castle burgers. Yes, I'm from the Midwest. Proposition 65. I guess that's something where you can't eat the box, maybe. And, okay. Let's see. Noelle says, my friend dyed her daughter's hair with Kool-Aid 3 months ago, and it's still the color. Oh, my gosh.
That tells you what kind of stuff is in it.
Wow. Oh, my goodness. Okay. No, and then Patty asks Noelle, what flavor is her hair? Laugh out loud. Was it grape? Was it red? What was it? Okay, and then Noelle says, Ravi, agreed. Can't teach without attention, and 100% always say verbal vomit. That's a T-shirt slogan. Can't teach without attention. I love it. Yeah, and Herb says he's an ex hospital administrator, healthcare administrator, and he says, and he does coaching now. Great point about telling a story to gain attention. Love that. Forrest says, Ravi, you use a lot of body language. I'm guessing that's when speaking to a group in person. You may be very animated, walking around, bending at the waist, using your arms, hands, etc. I am similar to that. What are your thoughts on that? Do you use a lot of body? How important is body language to you?
It's super important to me. It is really, really important to me. But I suppose what I will say to preface that is it depends on the medium. So, for example, if I'm on stage, this action right now may feel okay because there's 500 people in the room. If I'm on video now, just being like, too much.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
It really does depend on the medium, whether you're on Zoom, whether you're delivering a presentation for social media, like a video rather, whether you are speaking to a client and delivering a presentation, the tone, the body language is super important, but I think it also depends on the medium that you are channeling your message through.
That's a great point. Okay. So I have an open-ended question for you.
Okay.
Who has the greatest singing voice of all time? In your opinion?
As in pure singing voice, not like, for example, are we talking like the greatest singer because, oh my God, I love them, or just greatest singing voice?
Okay, I want you to frame it however you want. You can frame it however you want. Who has the greatest singing voice?
I was going to say Vanilla Ice, but okay. So...
You can say Vanilla Ice if you want.
I won't. I'd be the wrong person to ask, but I tell you what, who I do think is very, very good is it's probably the Whitney Houstons and the Mariah Careys of the world, right? Let's be honest.
Yes.
It's the ladies in that world. Today, I'd say it's somebody like Beyonce, right? It's somebody like Beyonce, but Beyonce is an amazing performer, probably better than she's vocalist. But I wouldn't know, man. I'm not the Simon Cowell of the. I'm not Simon Cowell, I'm a sucker for a good performance. Somebody could have a bad voice, but then could dance well, light up the crowd. Right. I'm like, man, I want to see them. So for me, I vibe with energy more so than somebody who's got a pitch perfect voice,
Okay, so that's how you frame it. So give it to me. Who's the best?
Right now, I'm a big fan of. I could listen to Drake all day long.
Okay.
I could listen to Drake all day long. But you know what? Is he a performer? Maybe not. Justin Timberlake. That's it.
Okay,
So
Justin Timberlake.
done.
Okay,
I'm a
all right.
big Justin Timberlake fan. The dude can act, sing, dance, produce. Like, I'm sure he could probably rap. I mean, I love the dude. Huge man crush. Huge bromance. Huge, like, love him.
Awesome. Okay, so Patty says, greatest singing voice I think I would choose would be Bette Midler. And yeah, so she's the one who wrote, who sung the song "Wind Beneath My Wings," I believe.
Okay.
And The Rose, she wrote this song called The Rose. Check her out, man. She's pretty good. It's older kind of pop music, older like 80s.
Okay,
nice. Yeah. Herb says, love the diverse group. Yeah, I love the diverse group too. I love it. We got a lot of great folks here. So Kendra explained what Prop 65 is. She says, regarding the cancer warning, California requires a label if there are any cancer-causing agents in the product. Something to that effect. Oh, okay.
That's true, actually. I bought a product from a company called Onnit. You know Onnit, the supplements company? And they had that on their supplements. And I was like, whoa, I'm not having that. I threw it away.
Oh, no, I didn't know that. Okay, so this is one I call Never Have I Ever. This is a little segment here. So I want you to tell me if you have or you've never, okay? But before you answer the question, I want the audience to guess. And if they guess correctly and they share with us if they have or if they've never, then they will be the first one to do that will have won the book. Okay? We're gonna give away another book. Okay. All right. So, never have I ever played a prank on my friends while they were sleeping. Okay, so I don't want you to answer that. Just think about it. Never have I ever played a prank on my friends while they were sleeping. So our audience is going to guess whether you have or you've never. So in the audience,
now I'm going to do it.
Okay, yeah, exactly. So in the comments, I want you to tell me, what do you think he has or he's never? Okay, so I have or never for him, and then I want you to say have or never for you. Okay. All right. So it's a little fun thing. Okay. Now while they're answering us back, I'm going to give you one more. Would you rather?
Okay, hit me.
Would you rather be a mouse stalked by a cat or a rabbit spotted by a hawk?
Or a rabbit, what? Sorry?
Spotted by a hawk.
Oh.
A predator.
I would say mouse, because you could go into holes which are small enough where the cat couldn't go. With the hawk, that thing is going to swoop down at any point and get you. Actually, same with rabbits as well. I'm going to stick with a mouse.
Okay, you stick with a mouse. Okay, I think that was a pretty good logical approach. I like that. Okay, we're going to see what the audience says. So again, for Ravi, guess if he if he says have or if he says never, and then I want you to do the same for yourself. Have or never for yourself. And let me know. Let me know in the comments, and the first one that gets that right is going to win one of our books. Oh, and also as an alternative, if you guys have not taken the Enneagram profile test, okay, which is an amazing test. I learned about it from Shay when I interviewed her. I took it. It's great. I know Noelle's on here. She's taking it. I think Patty's taking it too. Really cool. In fact, Patty, let us know how you feel about that test. But anyway, it's a test that lets you know more about yourself. It grades you on several different areas as to what kind of personality you have in this spectrum. Have you ever tried that, Ravi?
No, I haven't actually. I'm a big fan of these sort of tests, though. I think they're, they teach you a lot about yourself.
Would you like to try it?
Would I try it? Yeah.
Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna sponsor you to try one. Okay, so I'm gonna have Joe send you. We'll get you a link where you can try it. Okay.
Amazing, man. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Look forward to it.
All right, so let's see here. I'm looking at the comments here. Patty Witt says Justin Timberlake is a great choice. I love him too. Noelle says yes, Ravi has, hands down. Okay, but no, you didn't say whether you have or not. Okay. Timothy says have, so he thinks you have. Patty says I think he has. I have too. And Patty says cats can't fly, so I guess she's gonna go with.
It's true.
Yeah.
Oh no! I know cats can't fly, but I mean hawks can, right?
Right. So I guess she's going to go with the. Which one is she going to go with then? Yeah, which one are you going with, Patty? I'm confused. Yeah. So either would you rather be a mouse stalked by a cat or a rabbit spotted by a hawk? So I guess she's going to go with the mouse. I guess she agrees with you on that. That's what I've seen. Okay, so Timothy says yes to both. I totally have, and he thinks you have too. And Herb says a mouse. He's going to go with a mouse. Kendra says, Herb, yes, I listen in to my son's teachers while virtually learning and have observed the different approaches to teaching. Those that have a very storytelling approach, sharing information about them or relating content to something relevant in the student's life, or allow the students to converse with them or how their day is going, seem to keep them more engaged, is what she says. Patty says, I really enjoyed the test and found it to be accurate. So she likes the test. This was really good. Herb says, Ravi definitely has, and I have. And Noel says, I have too. Okay, so those are our answers. So we're all in suspense. I'm going to read it one more time. Never have I ever played a prank on my friends while they were sleeping. I have or I've never?
I have.
You have?
Yeah. As in, like, too many I can't even remember. Like, as in probably like so many. I actually remember it being done to me where I was on a holiday with friends and they put like toothpaste on my pillow, and then like it was before I came in and I slept and I woke up and I was like, I had all this mess on me and I was like, what is this? But yeah, 100%. I can't even remember because it's that frequent. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
all the time when I was a kid, you know, like I'll probably do it now. If I had friends over right now, one of them, I'll do it now.
If it's a friend you're around a lot, the dangerous part is once you get yours done, then there's always paybacks.
Yes, that is true. And also, I can't help it sometimes. And it depends on the friend as well. You know, some friends, they just can't take jokes and you don't want to push the boundaries. But some friends, you know, you can go for gold. It's,
exactly.
It's always a good time with those friends.
Okay, so Joe, the first one who answered that correctly, they're going to win a copy of the book. And I want to ask you a question, Ravi. What's probably the biggest mistake you've seen, in content on? You could speak to content on LinkedIn, or you can speak to presentations. What's the biggest mistake you've seen made, so we can avoid that mistake? Help us out.
Let's go with video for a second.
Okay.
Now, I'm a big advocate of speaking and communicating on video. But just because Gary V or whoever is saying, go on video, it doesn't necessarily mean that that's the right weapon of choice for you. You need to try it.
Okay.
To be able to come to that conclusion because you need data.
Right.
So there's some people who go, it's not right for me, but that's from a place of fear, because when you say, well, how many times have you tried it? Oh, well, I've never, I just know. So then there's that side of it. There's the other type who are so powerful, charismatic, witty over text. I'm not great over text, right? I still try and mix it up, but I know I'm better on video. But there's people who are the flip reverse.
Great point.
But they'll push video because it's flavor of the month. It's hot right now. And I think the self-awareness around first, knowing what's right for you is super important, because you could build an amazing personal brand by doing more text and audio than video, versus just trying to do video because everybody's harping on about it. You know, I think you need to have the self-awareness to say, this is what's right for me. I have data and I'm going to run with it.
That's golden. Man, you finished this up strong. It's 3:00. I mean, the time, the hour just flew by. That was amazing. Okay, so Joe, can you let us know who won this last one? Let's see here. Patty says, wow, guys. She says, wow, guys are way worse than girls. Laugh out loud.
Yes.
Okay, let me just refresh. Who won this challenge here? Okay, we're still waiting for a winner so we can congratulate who that is. Who is it that got them both right? Because it was I have, Joe, is the answer. Who was the first one to say I have? Patty says it's like saying you don't like eating something that you've never tried about the video thing. That's a good, yeah, exactly.
It's a good point, but at the same time, two people can have the same body, same results, yet they've put two different types of food in them because different food will react differently to different people.
Yes, absolutely.
Nobody was great.
Okay, so help me, anybody. Who won this contest? Who won the last one? You would have had to answer I have, and you would have had to have been the first one to answer.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what Ravi answered, was I have. Let's see.
I definitely.
Well, it's a mystery. We're going to find out here in just a moment. But I want to congratulate them. One thing I did want to ask you too, Ravi, what's the best way for folks to contact you and tell us? You can tell us about your show. You can tell us how you want us people to contact you. Maybe we can finish up with that, and then I'll be able to have a winner by then.
Yeah, sure, man. So I hang out on LinkedIn mainly. You know, I'm 95% of my time online. I'm not on Instagram. Well, I am, but I haven't posted in there. God knows how long, 18 months-ish. Facebook, very rarely on it. LinkedIn is where I am. You can find me at Ravi Rajani. We have a live show every single Monday at 5:11 p.m. UK time. I'm not good at time conversion, so I have no idea what that means for you. But that's where myself, Jonathan Palmer, Alex B. Sheridan, and Brian Harmon, good friends of yours as well, Rollis, talk about leadership, confidence, different topics in the theme of lead, laughing, and loving. So the show is called Lead, Laugh, Love. Catch us there every single week. And it's live, it's improv, it's full of comedy, unscripted stuff, and ideas with us just talking about the realness behind some topics which may be hard to talk about.
Yeah. Check him out. Check Ravi's show out. It's on Mondays. I think it's around 11:30, right? You said 5:30 your time?
6:11 p.m. UK time.
Yeah, so that's 11:11, I believe.
Exactly.
I think it's 11:11 our time. Yeah, I think so. Something like so, either 11 or 12. So check him out. Go to his profile. You'll be able to see the exact time on there for sure. And Rob, I want to thank you for having you on the show. Oh, we got a winner. So the winner is actually Dr. Timothy Brown. He works at Atrium Health. Congratulations. Let's give him a big applause here.
Come on, Tim.
All right, look at that.
Yes.
All around. Yes, sir. Good job. We appreciate you being in with us and everybody in the comments. We loved all you guys today. You guys were a great crowd today. Come back and see us tomorrow. We're gonna have another show at 2:00 tomorrow. It's Talent Tuesday. But man, thanks for a strong growth Monday, Ravi. You were awesome today, man.
I appreciate it, brother, and thank you for having me. It's been a long time coming. So
yeah, man. Keep up the good work. Okay, well, listen, everyone in the comments, let's say bye to them. Bye, everybody.
See you, people. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and. Once I see us wave, then I'll know I'll stop the stream just so that we don't. I've done it before while I hurry up and hit end stream too early, and it cuts off right in the middle of us trying to say something. So I'm just waiting a second until I see us wave. But good job, Zay, man. Enjoyed it. It's really good.
Cool, man. Just glad we made some time for it. You know.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's been a long time.